Yo, I just bought this Britney Spears shirt, so if I get paint on it, I'm gonna be so mad.
Hey, how's it going? So this episode with Brian Wooden was interesting, and doing this in front of an audience was difficult and not short of exhilarating for me. We talked about the creative process, we do that, and we talked about shitting our pants. It was pretty good. You'll enjoy that. I did some Q&A at the end, and we painted. I had one shot of tequila. My reality staggered a little bit. Brian had some shots of tequila and he was holding that shit down. We had issues with the audio in the beginning, so we're asking you to just quote unquote bear with us and work through that as you listen. As it goes further in, it gets a lot better. I want to thank Brian and Fort Houston and Lxxse and all the people that came out to the event back in February. It was awesome. It definitely turned on different things in my brain and in my heart to make different work and try different things. So hopefully that's what we're all after in some capacity. Thanks again for watching these videos. Like, subscribe, all that stuff. Instagram, Make It Perfect Show. What's that fucking email? makeitperfectshow@gmail.com. And that's all we got, right, Luke? Okay. Yeah, hope you enjoy it. Hope you're feeling okay out there and riffing. Stairway to hell.
Are you numb?
My arms have been feeling numb lately,
Yeah.
but as far as my feelings, no.
That's poor circulation, dude. You got
Oh man, thoracic outlet syndrome.
Dang, bro. Thoracic outlet syndrome?
Yeah. Thoracic part of the spine. It's me.
Let's stretch that shit out.
Yeah, dude. Well, that's like you got to lay on the floor and get into a horizontal mambo.
Dude, you gotta do all sorts of shit.
Yeah.
Dude, all that stuff is so connected. All the like physical stuff
Yes.
and the psychological stuff. Well, that's a perfect transition into like talking about the show and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you guys have read the statement behind the show or anything, but that's like what this whole show is about.
Mm-hmm.
It's the loose means it deals with like my struggle and getting out of my head and confronting the anxieties that tend to manifest themselves physically. And like when you're stressed out all the time and when you're internalizing all those anxieties and stuff like that, you get like there's a direct physiological connection with that stuff, and you get tight, and you get you lose circulation and certain things, like especially in your hips, and that's why like I always used to get annoyed at like all the like yogi people talking about like opening up your hips and your all the I don't know the way it was described didn't connect with me. But then once I started kind of understanding some of that stuff, I realized that it was, I mean, that shit's real. Like that all that it's really concrete. The way it was always described to me seems so like there was a big spiritual element. Kind of like
there could be.
Fluffy. I mean, there can be. I'm just not like a spiritual person.
Sure.
So
I remember one time I lived in Brighton, Michigan, growing up, and
is there like a good
riding a bike, and I was riding my bike home, and I put there were these ducks, by the lake, and they had a nest of eggs, and I was like, I can take these eggs back to my mom. So I put them in my pocket, and I got on the bike, and I was riding home, and fucking eggs broke in my pocket, and then I shit my pants and had diarrhea, and I went home. It was crazy, and that was like a vulnerable spot, and I was just like, where did shit my pants?
Where did the shitting your pants come from?
Well, I wasn't feeling too well, I guess.
Oh, jeez.
That's the zinger, you know? Sometimes you shit your pants, you know?
Sometimes you shit your pants.
That's a t-shirt. Make it perfect. Sometimes you shit your pants.
Shitting your pants is one of those things that I feel like when sometimes people talk about, like when you're listening to stand-up comedy, a lot of stand-up comics have stories about shitting their pants because it's supposed to be one of those sort of universal things, but I've never shit my pants, so maybe I'm overdue for it.
That's good.
Maybe I'll shit my pants tonight.
I thought I was going to shit my pants earlier in here.
I want like a pink.
Pink, we got pink in here. That's fluorescy,
cool.
bro.
That's cool.
Anybody else out there shit their pants? Yeah, thank you. Hey. Yeah,
Have you guys, is that a
excellent.
universal thing? Have you guys shit your pants? Yeah?
Oops, I shit my, that's oops, I crap my pants.
I crap my pants.
You remember that?
Yeah.
That's Saturday Night Live. This is Make It Perfect Live, you dig? Okay.
No, I've never shit my pants.
Damn. Will you call me if you shit your pants?
Yeah.
Okay.
I definitely will.
Cool. Dude, I like these colors I'm rocking right here. That ochre on there, man.
Yeah, that's dope. I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Neither do I, man.
So, like,
Dude, what are you working on right now? You're talking about an installation on Broadway. What's that?
oh, I just finished an installation on Broadway. It's kind of,
Okay.
yeah, it was cool. They liked the older stuff. That's kind of a stressful thing that I got to deal with. A lot of times you're.
What is the old, refresh
The older
me
stuff
with
is a
that.
lot of like more classically rendered things.
Okay, okay.
A lot of.
The busts?
A lot, yeah.
Okay.
A lot of like taking a lot of inspiration from like Greek and Roman sculpture and those sorts of classical motifs and rendering them out. And again, a lot of those things have to deal with like sort of an attempt to prove my worth and value to people. And I got really caught up in rendering out things a certain way to convince everyone that I knew what I was doing.
Fair enough.
And so that's why it's been fun to do this, is to get away from that and just like draw things that I'm into and have fun with it and stay
Loose.
like, again, yeah, stay loose. I always used to work with pencil sketches, rendering things out with a pencil sketch and then cleaning them up from there. And again, that's just sort of a control aspect. And I'm trying to do better at relinquishing control and just letting myself go straight ahead with it. Like, because that's the sort of shit that stresses you out. If you're constantly feeling like you're a victim to things that you can't plan for, then it's just going to stress you out, and you're going to feel like you need to control it and control it and control it.
I have a fear spot.
Yeah, and so just like letting go of the control and just letting yourself sort of roll with it. And if something gets kind of fucked up, then you just roll with that, and it just lets you sort of. It's like
Keep creating.
people relate it back to like architecture and stuff a lot. How like large concrete structures have to have, or like bridges and shit have to have a certain amount of give to them to allow for the elements and stuff. And it's kind of a cliche way of relating it back. But
I've never heard that. So.
oh, you haven't?
Well, I understand the concept, but you relating it that way I thought was good.
I mean, it makes sense. You know, you got to just kind of allow for some room to give on shit like that, and let yourself.
Fuck up a little if you need to.
Fuck up, or just like roll with the punches, you know? Just let yourself flow with shit. And because if you're constantly trying to control shit, you're not flowing with anything. And like flow is the whole point of flow. Yeah, and flow ties right back into the theme of like loose and everything like that. So that's all it's been.
Man, it keeps turning into my chest area, dig. Psych. Hey, is this hitting my vibe here? Is it turning in right there?
It's in right there, yeah.
Do you ever dance while you're painting? Like in your studio? Do you ever just weep, or do you anything like that?
I don't weep.
Cool. I do. I'm not kidding. I do.
That's pretty weird, man.
Thank you.
No, that's. I wish I could more.
Cool.
What?
No, I just love that you said that, because it's like crying is stigmatized. And I'm going through a really strange spot in my life right now. A couple months ago, I was trying to see if I could cry at least once a day. If I was wherever the hell I was, if I started.
Why did you want it to be once a day?
Because I wanted to see how much of my subconscious would become conscious if I could allow myself to cry wherever I was and however the tears were to come up.
But if you're putting like a numeric value on it, doesn't that sort of
No, that's a great point.
negate the crying?
I don't think so. I think I'm overdue for crying because I hadn't cried a lot, and I'd just be in fucking Starbucks. Go to Starbucks a lot, and like just be sitting there and see something, and I would start crying, and whoever saw me crying, or I wouldn't edit the crying, I would just cry, and that took a lot of wherewithal to do that, because normally I would just be like shame and hide my face because I was crying, but it seemed
Crying
to
in
be
Starbucks?
anywhere.
The dude's like, I got a Frappuccino for
Yeah. No, I'm
just gonna leave this on the counter.
I'm losing my fucking
Get it
mind
whenever
over
you
here.
want.
That's not right at all. Ryan drinks chai, not
Thank you, Luke. God dang, man. Thank you.
What does he drink?
Chai. Yeah. I'm a
chai?
sucker, man. They got their hooks in my head. Wait a minute. That would be uncomfortable. I'll cry. Okay.
Getting a nice chai cry in?
Yeah. You're making fun of me now. No, it was cool. It was a good point, and I realized during that time that I need to cry more.
Well, what do you cry from? Do you cry from sadness or happiness or what?
I think it's sadness, and I think on top of that is anger and resentment, because that's where I work from a lot. I love the fade on this. It's great. Where do you feel like your work comes from, if you could name a feeling?
I get inspired when I'm like in a really good place. I don't
Cool.
get inspired when I'm in a really negative place.
Oh, yes.
So that's kind of one of those things. Like when I cry, a lot of times it's from happiness.
Yes.
I think the last like cry that really caught me off guard was I was watching the Flintstones with not the cartoon. It was the movie with John Goodman and shit, and Halle Berry in her prime.
Oh, she bad.
Oh yeah. And it's like 7 minutes into the fucking Flintstones. I was streaming it on
Losing it?
Netflix. Just what?
You were crying in 7 minutes?
There's this moment in it.
Yeah.
It's those moments in movies where people are like in a really vulnerable position, and they're speaking, and they don't know that the person they're speaking about is listening to them speaking. Like, you know what I mean? It's a scene in the Flintstones where it might not even be related to that, but he spent all their money on something. Fred spent all their money, and Wilma's all pissed. And she's like, what'd you spend all our money for? But she doesn't know that he spent it. He gave it to Barney because they were trying to adopt a kid. Bam Bam. They were adopting Bam Bam.
Yes, yes.
And so she's like, no, so she knows.
Yeah.
She knows that that's what he spent the money on.
Oh, okay.
That she knows that he gave Barney the money to adopt Bam Bam.
Yep.
So she's kind of fucking with him a little bit, and he's trying to still be all like, oh, whatever, I can spend my money however I want. He's trying to be all like blah blah blah, but she knows that it was like coming from a good place. I'm gonna cry right now thinking about it.
I wish you would. I wish you would. I wish you would. I wish you would.
But it's such a sweet moment, like sweet little moments like that kind of
like that tenderness that we don't tap into all the time. Are you guys having a good time? Is this like, it's cool? Okay, good. We're gonna take a break and just chill.
Why are we taking a break?
Oh, okay, cool. What? This dude needs to take a break, and that's cool. So we're gonna take 10 minutes. Cool with that? Okay, 10-minute break. So get up. There's one bathroom. I hope you all use the same toilet. Okay, hello. All having a good time? Cool, excellent. That's great. Thank you.
Thank you guys for hanging out. Seriously, that's
Yeah, it's crazy.
super awesome.
Feel good. Feel like my life is worth living. Yo, I like that fluorescent, dude, a lot. That's good.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
I had one shot of tequila. I feel really good.
You only had one shot?
Just one.
I had like 7.
Good. All right, Luke, how you feeling, bro?
better than before.
Good, buddy. Okay, so we're gonna tell me when you're ready. Okay, so I'm gonna reintroduce the show because we painted quicker and just got started a little earlier. This is Make It Perfect. Thank you for coming. This is Brian Wooden, and we are really happy you're here. And this is a first for us doing Make It Perfect Live. And if you're interested in putting this on your social media, Instagram, while we're doing this, I would love that personally. Also, Jerry's Autorama, East Nashville, supplies us with our Lucas paint. So we're pretty happy about that. If you make art, go in there and just talk to Amanda because she fucking rules, man. That woman is the funniest person. Ugh. What else, Luke? Lxxse. They give us free Lxxse. Do you see that shit? 42 years old. Whoa, bad hip. We love Lxxse. Okay, Brian. So we're back on it.
We're back.
Microphone's fixed. Got a little bit of that jarring happening, but let me see here.
I'm going to transition. I'm busting out the Sharpies now.
Cool.
So I know you told me that you just wanted me to paint.
Sure.
I've been painting, but I'm going to start
Yes.
incorporating some illustration shit.
Love
in
it.
there and see how
Please
it goes.
do. Thank you. So, hey, yeah, there it is. Cool.
What's up?
I just wanted silence. Okay. So Brian, when did you start drawing and what did you draw when you were younger? Or what did you do creatively? You said you played guitar when we met. What do you play guitar still?
Yeah.
Cool. You played music, like you played in a band or did you have your own stuff going on?
Well, that's why I moved to Nashville. I was playing
that's
guitar
right.
for
That's
like
right.
a bunch of people.
I've never heard someone doing that.
What?
Moving to Nashville.
Moving to Nashville. I know. There wasn't enough here. I felt very isolated.
Nice. Back to the beginning. I love it. I forgot my question. Had one shot of tequila. Can I have another one? Are you guys putting this on your Instagram yet or what's going on? Okay.
Hey, don't feel like you have to.
No,
you
you
know,
fucking have to.
Social media is not obligatory tonight.
Talking about social media and Instagram and stuff like that, I get caught in a freaking vortex. Hey, it's good to see you. I get caught in a vortex in my mind and on Instagram. Hey, buddy.
I smashed your drink.
Oh, that's okay.
You don't need any more.
Is that mine? Thank you. I love him. So I get in this vortex in my mind. Maybe you all experience this of Instagram, and you start like just hating yourself. Hazlett, come on in here, buddy. And you just start comparing and living these. You weave these fantasies around these images that you see, and kind of like these lifestyles that you're seeing all the fucking time. Are y'all on Instagram all the time? Like, let's say you're not. Hell yeah. I checked my screen time today. I was down 25% at 5.5 hours a day. So, okay. So, hey. Okay.
Is 5.5 hours a day a lot?
I don't know, man. For me, I feel like a zombie. Oh, bro, what's your name?
Brad.
Dude, Brad, it's good to meet you, brother. I like that.
Is 5.5 hours a day a lot?
That seems like a fucking lot. That's like 7 times 5, 35 hours a week plus.
It definitely seems
That's
like a lot. I
insane.
don't know what's like normal though.
What do you do?
I have no idea. I've never looked at it.
Sick.
I don't think I do a lot though.
Cool. But anyway, I was thinking about Instagram and it just rips my soul, you know?
Why does it rip your soul?
Thank you. Because I think I deal with a lot of resentment, and that's one thing in my family Luke, you good? Oh, that was me. Okay. Thank you. Resentment in my family is like a big stronghold. You know, they talk about these generational curses, and it's like, it feels like resentment shows up in my family to a point of where it just eats people alive in my family. And
Resentment towards what though?
that's a great question. I think comparison of someone doing better, or the longing of a expectation that I haven't quite formed the full concept of.
Expectation, dude. Expectation fucking kills
Let's hit it.
everything.
Yeah.
And again, that's a big part of like all this stuff too. Is expectation is one of those. Expectation comes from somewhere. So wherever you develop that expectation from comes from a certain idea of yourself, or a certain idea that
I agree. Yes.
Yeah, a certain idea that like you expect things to turn out
Just
a certain way.
entitlement.
Because, yeah.
Yes.
So
Definitely.
when you can like, relinquish that expectation.
How do you do that?
Just try not to think about it. I mean, inevitably you're going to have some sort of expectation.
Yes.
You're going to have some sort of picture in your head the way things are. You ideally would like them to if things don't pan out that way, then you end up, feeling like shit about it.
Right. I want to avoid that.
But yeah, but things
That's
are
what I'm working on.
things are going to pan out the way they're going to pan out.
Yes.
So
yes.
what's the point of?
I agree. No.
What's
dude.
the point of stressing yourself out about it?
Agreed.
You know?
Definitely agreed. But for all intents and purposes, I still stress myself out about it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I think the awareness of when the expectation is happening and I start feeling resentment, I acknowledge it and allow myself to feel the feeling where it is represents my body, and then usually that feeling brings a time frame to mind of when I experienced that resentment at another part of my life.
So you feel resentment for
Yes.
You feel resentment for things not going the way you would like them to go?
Yes, but I've created those things too.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Well, yeah,
So-
but just that that acknowledgement of expectation is, I think that's pretty big.
Thank you.
So Ryan, where were you going with that?
Oh, thank
about
you, Luke.
Instagram?
So Instagram. So I'm new to this art game. Like I've been painting for about 5 years, and I played music and just toured and worked at Whole Foods and didn't really understand where I was going
What
in
did you
my
do at
life.
Whole Foods?
I bagged groceries, worked in the grocery department, did maintenance, and just was involved in a lot of gossip because it happens. There's 250 fucking employees. Anyway, so I'm new to this art game. I don't really know how it works, and I was feeling really insecure about it because at that point, I just didn't believe in the work that I was making or myself as an artist. That has changed, and will it change again? For sure, I hope it does. So after we met, I had that expectation of, we met, we had good conversations, we didn't really hang out, but we just did rock wall. And I was like, okay, that means that Brian's gonna do something for me. So I was like,
Something for you, like what?
yeah, hang on, I'm getting there, bro. so like I just get in my head about it on Instagram, and I saw your success, and I was like, fuck, what the fuck? Why can't I be a part of that? Or why can't I get the things that I think I deserve?
You saw success?
Yeah, you're successful, you fucker, for sure, man. So it's like I unfollowed Brian. Okay. Yeah, here we go, dude. It rules. Here we go. We're getting the juice now. So, but what I'm saying is, bro, I worked out of it.
No, I saw that because you recently started refollowing.
Yeah,
me. I
dude,
saw that.
now
I was
we're
like,
talking.
You're not following
God, I love it. I'm trying to be authentic and
me?
vulnerable
That's so
here.
sweet of you to admit to
Thank
tell
you.
me that. I'm serious.
What a way to
I mean
say
it.
that. Okay, thank you. So it goes again, it goes into that expectation, and it was pure jealousy. That's why I did that. And sometimes I feel like I get caught in that jealous mindset, and then I forget who I am and who the gifts that I have and the things that I can bring to the table. So, those expectations will just rock your whole mind, man. And they rocked my mind there for a bit. But you know what? I'm following you again, dog. So everything's cool.
Thanks.
Yeah, you got it, buddy.
bro.
Have you all ever done anything like that? Oh, sick. Thank you. Heck yeah. Heck yeah.
I've unfollowed people because of that.
It feels so fucking good for a second,
It never feels
like,
good
fuck
to me.
you, man.
It never feels good because I feel like I know why I'm doing it.
Why?
Because of that.
Excellent.
I know
Yeah.
that it's coming from that,
love it,
like
yes.
it's not coming from a good place.
Right.
But it doesn't matter. Like,
Totally.
I think it's okay to operate from that place.
Yeah,
sometimes.
I agree.
And just
You
be
might
like-
need to.
Yeah,
Yep.
no, but it's okay to like, it's okay to change certain things if you feel like they need to be changed, and not like if you didn't unfollow
Yeah.
whoever it was.
You.
Yeah, me. Out of principle,
Right?
then you might have not, I don't know, you might have not been able to get yourself into a place to really
Or I could
understand.
refollow you.
Yeah, exactly.
Or just whoever. Or
Exactly.
just put myself in that state again,
Yeah.
Fucking awesome.
Oh, man.
God,
I'm
I love this
sorry.
show,
I
man.
don't-
No.
I don't want to make him jealous.
I'm having a fucking great time. Well, you're not the only one who makes me jealous, dude, so.
I better be.
Oh my gosh. Brian, you got to ask me some questions, bro, because my mind is spinning right now.
Is it?
Yep.
Dude, I love that
Mm-hmm.
you are you're just a very unique individual, and that when people first
Thank you. That's a huge.
when
that's
people
great.
first, well, I mean that's whatever, but
To me, that's huge.
no, but it'll get bigger as I
Okay.
describe it.
Yeah. Thank you. Great.
It like
Yes.
people don't know totally how to take you
Yep.
at first.
True.
I didn't.
Cool.
I was like,
Yeah.
whoa, this dude's a lot.
Yeah, for sure. Sometimes.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and I might have not even been in a place in my life where I could really understand that or
Sure. Yeah.
accept it.
Mhm.
I was just kind of like, whatever, keep this dude at arm's length.
Yeah,
and
dude.
He's,
This
in
is
my life.
wonderful. Yes. Go ahead.
But then once I got to know you a little
In
bit
here.
better, in here.
The other.
Yeah,
It was
but
killer.
even watching this, even watching
tight.
when you asked me to do this, I
Yes.
went and watched some episodes of
Mhm.
it, kind of started to understand you a little bit more,
Mm.
and yeah, I feel like it's that just how interesting and different you are is really what made me be like,
want to lay down, dude.
yeah,
God, thank you.
no, but it made me be like, I don't know, just appreciate you,
Same.
yeah.
Same. We had that conversation.
Seriously.
I really, really value
Yeah.
that. Thank you very
The fact
much.
that you're doing this and the fact that you can offer like the perspective you have
Mm.
to a setting like this
Mhm.
is super cool.
God, thanks, Brian.
Yeah.
Thanks. The other night when we hung out in here, man, I left here and I texted, where's Lxxse? She left. She's over it. No, I'm just kidding. Oh, she's in the bathroom? Oh, okay, cool. I texted Lxxse and I was like, dude, Brian and I just had a legit, authentic conversation. And I left that night and I felt lighter and I felt more connected to a part of myself that I needed to be connected to. So that was, it was a blessing to see you bring out part of your true self while we were in here alone talking about some pretty heavy shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was awesome, man. So right back at you, dude.
Yeah.
God, that was fucking rad. Okay.
What's going on here?
I was on Instagram. Oh my God. Today, and I saw this guy post something that said, it said, if you have something to say, then silence is a lie. And I thought that was a really cool, statement. And I also thought it was a cool concept because a lot of times it's really hard to allow ourselves to articulate the feelings that we have because A, we don't understand how to articulate the feelings we have. We don't know how to name the feelings we have. And also we don't, hello, good to see you. Crit? Heck yeah. And also we don't know that the space that we're in, are we safe to articulate the feelings we have? So I think sometimes I feel free in this show and with the people that we have on the show to dig into that stuff because it's terrifying. And the way to do that is self-reflection, and that is terrifying.
Well,
Hit it.
yeah, but I mean, like again, a big part of the show is like that whole looseness and sort of allowing yourself to get out of your head and
Yes.
separate yourself from that like chronic. I'm ripping this
Yeah,
from
fine.
an Alan Lxxse quote.
He's great. Go ahead.
But yeah, I was listening to an talk by Alan Watts, and he like articulated the idea of this show very well in a single sentence. And he said the feeling that we attribute to the idea of ourselves is a chronic muscular tension. That's not the exact quote, but it's
Can you say that again?
the feeling that we attribute to the idea of ourselves. So when we think about who
Yes,
we are,
yes.
when it's that ego, it's that idea of ourselves
Yep.
that might not be in alignment with like who we actually are. It's a chronic muscular
Oh,
tension.
that's good.
So when we're constantly thinking about who I am, who I need to be, it's directly related to a
Like a
physical tension, a literal tightness.
Yeah.
So it's not
Yeah.
like it transcends the realm of whatever, spirituality, mentality, whatever you want to call it. It's a real physical thing. Like we hold that tension in ourselves. Like when we,
in different places.
when we feel like we need to be a certain person and we're not, we're just like, like why am I not this? And we're tight. And when we can get rid of that, then it's that looseness that I'm talking about. But that goes back to the more you can like let those genuine feelings out.
Yes.
The more you're able to rely on those genuine feelings.
Yeah, like intuition.
Yeah.
Even?
And so when the feelings of like stress or anxiety or fear or sadness or whatever it is come out, and we think that like we're alone feeling this, or we shouldn't be feeling this, or whatever it is, when you can put all that aside and trust that those feelings are coming from something that actually means something.
Because they are.
Yeah.
They are.
And like when you can trust your feelings and rely on that, that's the flow.
Yes.
That's flowing.
Yeah.
And that just allows you to like articulate the realest part of yourself and or the realest part of ourselves. And when we can just sit and like let the real part, the most real parts of ourselves flow out, that's when like shit really starts to like make sense.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Can you guys clap? Because I feel no, not you. It wasn't you. It's not you. Listen, this is a really meaningful thing.
Can you guys all just cry a little bit?
Yeah.
Can we all?
Yeah, there you go. No, this is really meaningful, and like it wasn't a clap for that. I mean, that is part of it.
I know. I'm just fucking with you. I don't know.
Like this is something that I can't even believe that we're fucking doing. Feels really good.
What can't you believe?
Just
we're doing?
that we're up here painting, talking, microphones on a skate ramp in Nashville, Tennessee, and people come out to see it, and they stay around. It's killer, you know? It's killer.
I'm doing my best to pretend that there's not a bunch of people.
Oh my goodness. You know, I was thinking about in my group therapy, hey, if y'all haven't done group therapy and you ever think about doing group therapy, it's the most righteous thing I've ever done in my adult life. Who you think you are in group therapy, that will change. And you'll become different layers of who you think you are. It's beautiful. Anyway, okay. So I was, it was months ago, and my psychologist, his name's Dodge. He's a fucking wizard. Oh my God. Anyway.
His name is Dodge.
Yeah,
Your
he's
psychologist's name is Dodge.
He's a badass, man.
Oh,
God.
man.
He's unreal.
Is
So
his last name Ram?
no, dude. That'd be hypersexual, though. We were talking about how to name your feelings, and so there's a woman in there that was recently, she's going through a really tough time, and she didn't understand that her anger was at a superficial emotion, and that does not indicate a negative connotation. Anger is essential, but underneath that anger was sadness. Okay, so
Underneath that anger was what?
sadness.
Oh.
Yeah. So we were all talking, and then I was talking about something pretty heavy, and I'm like, I don't understand how to trust myself, like you were talking about, how to trust if the feeling is real, and if I have a sense about something that I'm not just pulling it out of left field, because I do that a lot. So he looked at me and he goes, Ryan, whose is that? And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, whose voice or whose feeling is that? And it really caused me to get deeper into my body and where I live, you know? So it's like, whenever I have like a set of feelings or thoughts that are just shaming and guilt-ridden, I'm like, okay, whose is that? And the key is, when you ask the question, believe yourself. Because like you said, once you start believing yourself, you start integrating your conscious and your subconscious. So it's a really useful tool if you're feeling that shame sometime. Okay, sweet.
I don't always necessarily feel like I need to have a direct idea of whatever it is I'm drawing. I don't feel like it has to have some deep meaning as I'm drawing it.
Yeah,
Just whatever you're feeling at that time. If I'm drawing a bunch of skulls and later on I might be able to look back on that retrospectively and think, oh, I was drawing a bunch of skulls because
So it's just coming up for you.
Yeah, I mean, again, we think things are kind of mundane and frivolous in the moment when we're doing it, but like it's those really frivolous elements that or the moments we perceive as frivolous that end up having a lot of weight to them in the long run. So
I agree.
That stuff's it's like it goes back to trusting a feeling. It's like if you feel like drawing a skull or a rose or whatever it is, just like do it, and then don't question it so much. Don't talk yourself out of it in the moment. Just do it. Trust that. Like allow yourself to trust that feeling and trust that whatever brought you to that point, and then figure it out later on.
Are you guys having a good time still? Yeah. Is this cool? Okay.
Thanks for continuing to hang out.
Yeah,
I keep like
definitely.
looking back and I'm like, oh my God, people
They're
are still hanging out. Jesus.
Cristo.
If whatever we're talking about gets too weird and you want to leave, please act on that.
Yeah, but that's something in you that can't handle the awkwardness. Not our fault. Anyway.
No, it's. I want to know if I'm talking a bunch of bullshit and you guys don't want to listen to it, then
sure.
It'll be worse if you continue to sit back there and judge me silently.
What about openly and loud? You guys, it's not like I'm not up here being like, oh, they're going to ask a bunch of questions and all this stuff, but we're going to go to Q&A. If you have any questions, we'd love to hear
let's
them.
do Q&A, yeah. Do you want to do that now?
Yeah, we can do it. You want to do it?
Do you intentionally work from back to front?
I couldn't really hear you.
From what I can tell, it looks like you've been working on the background of something, and now you're going to the forefront with the dark purple.
Yeah. I think that's how it's happened. I'm not really conscious of what I'm doing. Like this is like a trance, I feel like sometimes. So I guess that did happen. Is there why do you ask?
I just imagine yellow like mixing in with the orange.
With the orange?
As like the sky.
Ooh, nice. Well, thanks. I appreciate you asking that. Heck yeah. Anyone else?
You can compliment my piece now. That's fine.
Hell yeah, that's why we're live. Hell yeah. Yes. Man, I can't hear you. I'm sorry.
First creative memory.
Ryan, what do you got?
Oh man, first creative memory.
That's a great question, by the way. And yours was too.
Oh Jesus, dude, I don't know.
That's the creative memory. Okay.
Kind of what we were talking about before. A lot of those. I was always really into animation and sort of like the motion involved with, and sort of like a linear narrative of pieces, which is why I've always been really drawn to illustration, sort of like with like comic art and things like that. And the stuff I was doing when I was really young, like the earliest things I remember doing was...
I gotta pee. I'll be right back.
It was literally, he's gonna pee. Keep your mic on.
Thank you. Oh shoot, I forgot.
Mute your mic. Mute your mic. Oh, here. Just mute it. Here you go. Those. He really left you hanging, didn't he?
What?
He really left you hanging out here.
He did.
Yeah.
The things I remember drawing the most are, I would have like a layout, and I would draw like it was like a lot of castles and shit, so it would be like a bunch of levels and like those Mortal Kombat spike pits and stuff like that, and then draw like a character sort of going through this level that I designed. So there was definitely like an element of like I wanted the narrative there, but I wanted it in real time sort of. So I wanted to actually be able to design these levels that I would go through myself as this little character and draw him like falling down into the spike pit, or he like the character wouldn't, but he would like kick one of the guards into the spike pit. They were mostly like stick figures and shit. I don't know.
I remember when I lived in Michigan where I shit my pants, and there was a trail back to this like meadow that all these power lines were for miles. I was like 7 years old. So I'd walk there with some friends, and we'd have to walk through the woods and get to the spot, and we had snacks and shit, and we had water and stuff, and we were like, adventurous, So we go back there, and it just opened up into this beautiful expanse, and it was It was directional. It felt vertical. It wasn't horizontal. It felt vertical to me. And I just remember laying there and just looking at the clouds and just seeing just animals and shapes and different stuff in the clouds, and then also how the grass kind of trembled when the wind would blow. That felt really
Trembled. Damn,
yeah,
dude.
for sure. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about when the wind hits it and shit. But it was it felt really soft to me, like it was like a current that I wanted to be a part of. Cool. Who else?
That was really pretty.
Oh, thanks, dude. Thanks. It was beautiful.
Ryan.
Yes.
So I remember you from your music days.
Oh, nice. Oh, yeah. That's
The first show I watched of yours was Worker,
yeah.
and I actually can still hear that song in the back of my head.
Cool.
Very powerful.
Thank you.
I know that the creative journey takes so many evolutions and it's beautiful. How did your creative journey take you from creating this, heavy yet emotion-packed music to the progression of colorful and emotion-packed paintings?
Did you all hear his question at all? Could you hear it? Okay. Just his question was, how did the evolution of playing heavy, emotion-filled music take its way to creating colorful, emotion-filled painting? Is that more or less it? Okay. Awesome. Dude, did I get her on me, dude? Did I get her on me?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Do you like that shirt?
Yes. I got it up here too, man. Okay. Oh, well, it's a shirt. To answer your question, I think that band ended, and I went to a place where we moved out into the country, and I was doing some health stuff, and I have Tourette syndrome and obsessive compulsive disorder, and I wanted to try to find a way to heal that and cure it without medication. So that's what I did, and I think being at the bottom of who I thought I was, because I thought I was this music guy, and perhaps I still am to some degree, but I thought I was this music guy that was in the scene and that was a little older and had all this wisdom and all this shit, and like I was removed from that, my safe space, like we were talking about, like, and I was put into the proverbial desert, and I was alone most of the time, and I really had to look at myself and ask myself some questions of who am I? It's so existential, but it's so true. And then when I was 37, I was at my friend Adam's house, and he had a bunch of acrylic paints. I saw a board there. He goes, "You can have these paints." And I just started kind of painting with my fingers and pushing paint around, a lot like this. And then it felt like I couldn't stop. It felt like I wanted to just, the act of painting, I wanted to eat. It was like sustenance to me. So, and also I had to do it out of necessity because I felt creative, but I didn't know where to go. And I was always relying on these other people to make my creative dreams come true. But this is a way, you know what I'm
With
saying?
music, that's a real thing.
It's hard, man.
Yeah.
So then this way, I felt like I could be the master of my domain. And then that will open me up into different domains where I had to collaborate and work with people. So thanks for asking. Anyone else?
That was cool. I
Thank
like
you.
that. I didn't know that you were that like heavy into music.
I was for a while, man.
Dude, I was the same way. That's why it's cool to hear, because I was the same thing. Like, you thought you were the music person.
Yeah. It's all I'll ever be, and it won't happen, you know? Aaron? What you got?
Do either of you have creative or artistic pieces that are out there, like in the public domain world, that exist now that you don't like or hate?
Oh, for
Yes,
sure.
definitely. God. But we leave them up there, right? Do you leave them up there?
Yeah. I walked into this coffee shop the other day. That was one of the first like commission pieces I had. And I remember hating the piece I did for them so fucking bad that I like wanted to quit at the time. I was like, this is fucking garbage. And it like sent me into this really weird place. And I walked into the other day to get a coffee, and it was funny because I was working on this installation down on Broadway, and I was totally done up in order to be on the construction site, you had to have hard hat, yellow vest, steel toe boots, glasses, protective glasses, whatever, gloves. So I'm walking into this coffee shop as a construction worker, and I go back and look at this piece, and I actually liked it more now than I did at the time.
Nice. Ooh, that's awesome.
It was cool, yeah, but yeah, I mean, that stuff is gonna happen. We're gonna put out shit. If you don't put out anything you hate, then it's just like, what?
Who are you?
Then what the fuck are you doing?
You're Jesus Christ.
Nobody
you need
puts
to paint.
out like a ton of awesome shit.
Yeah.
You need to like put shit out that you hate.
Yep. I agree. And you know, it's not like every fucking piece of art you make is going to be a masterpiece. It's like that's why they're masterpieces. You know what I'm saying?
But if you don't put out like total garbage, I mean like garbage.
Yes.
I think how good you are as an artist is directly related to how shitty of stuff, like the amount of just bullshit you put out in the past.
I agree. I definitely agree.
If you put out like really terrible, stupid, weird shit, then that means you were coming from a weird, shitty place. Like that's dope. That's cool.
And then you kind of like, you just turn different turns and you gain some confidence by doing the shitty, embarrassing shit, I think.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
Yes.
Shitty stuff is
Rules.
is great.
You know that mural over in East Nashville on Citgo? That's just shitty. You know what I'm talking about?
Where?
God, where is that? By Moo Creative. What are those streets? Y'all don't know. It's in East. Okay, you're on Shelby. God, I don't even know how to get there.
Dude, no, that's why that. Oh no, continue.
That's cool. God, how do I describe it? It's where Main Street starts, and it's on that Citgo. It's like it's Titans shit. It's like a green field, and there's like a Titans player up here. It's fucking horrible. It's my favorite shit in Nashville, man. Because I'm serious. Because this dude got up in there and he's like, fuck yeah, man, I got my chance. You know what I'm saying? And it's so horrid, but it's so pure because there's no editing of this shit. And to me, that's what I look for. And also, refined, beautiful line work is also beautiful. Okay. Yes.
How do events like this are making perfect for making your focus change on like themes or like you're painting that home more intimate and like you want in settings like this more chaotic?
Oh boy, I'm not thinking so much when I'm painting here, and it's more of that lucid feeling, and there's also a certain stress involved. So I think while we're working, good to see you, dude. While I'm working here, I'm not thinking, and it's like, but I'm thinking about different things, and so I feel like I'm using a different part of my brain when I'm arranging color and movement, and then and then intellectually I'm trying to understand what's happening in the room. So it's like, this is very fast. To me, it's very fast, and I used to make fast work, but now I do more looking when I make my work, and I think it's allowed me to be more comfortable with making quote unquote mistakes in what I'm doing, so I feel more free. Does that answer your question a little? Okay, cool.
I mean, it's pretty weird having like a bunch of people sit here and like watch you do shit. I like to, be like as isolated as possible.
Same.
Which was also the problem I had with music, is that I felt like I played the best stuff when I was completely by myself, and there was nobody listening to it. I found that when people were listening to it, then it affected the things I was playing, because I would try and play for other people rather than play what I wanted to play or play what was actually like true to the moment. So yeah, I mean, this is super weird. Like I never would have done this on my own. So it's super cool that like we can have this setting and make something that we wouldn't have normally made.
Yes.
I'd love to hear both Ryan and Brian's philosophy on the creative process.
Brian?
You can go first.
Okay. Holy shit.
What's holy shit?
I'm thinking, because I want to make this huge concept into a concise, palatable form. I think anytime, okay, I believe in it in some form of divine nature and being. And anytime that I am engaged in creating, whether it's making a decision in my life in general, or engaging in a conversation, or acting in different emotional realms, or painting, or playing music, any type of creation, because that's a lot of what we do. I feel like I have the opportunity to be connected to that divine spirit, or presence, as it were, which resides, I believe, resides in all of us as consciousness. I do a lot of layering, and I feel like when we're out in the world and we're interacting in the ways that we interact, there is a lot of layering and a lot of meta realities happening all the time. So when I'm making my work, I allow myself, if I choose to change something, I just change it. And I notice if I'm holding on to a particular part of the painting, I'll hold on to it for a while, and I'll wonder, hey, Jan, and I'll wonder why I'm holding on to this particular part of the painting, and I'm afraid to see it go because I think it's either particularly beautiful or violent or visceral in a way. So I allow myself to get rid of that part of the painting to start something new in that spot, and even not. Sometimes I leave it. So it's like, as I make decisions in my life, those are layered decisions, and then you have a hierarchy of values happening depending on how you make your decisions to reach a achieved goal. So that's how I look at my painting, is just a bunch of different decisions that come from an emotional place, because I work from that visceral emotional place. That's all I got. Okay, what do you got, Brian?
I don't know. I maybe like way down the road in the future, I would have more of like a concrete way of articulating what the creative process is. But for right now, it's pretty like whatever the process ends up being. Like, I'm totally fine with that, as long as there is a process, and as long as I'm getting to a point in the end that I'm stoked on, and that other people can take something from, then the process made sense. Maybe there is an answer there. Maybe just like, again, letting the sort of chaos ensue, and letting yourself rely on whatever feeling that you have in the moment just play out, and rolling with that, and letting that be the catalyst for the creative process, I think, is the most important part, and not feeling restricted towards a certain process, just letting yourself, like, jump into an emotion or jump into a feeling, and just like, feeling something and be like, cool, this is going to be the beginning of this process, versus another process that you heard from some fucking Basquiat documentary on YouTube or something,
Anyone else? Last one. Yes. Yep, we'll get you too. Go ahead.
If you guys ever experience any kind of creative block or artist block, how do you guys work through that? What is your process in dealing with that?
Brian, you want to go?
Throw shit at the wall.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
No,
Like-
I mean, not like
Yeah.
not like my own excrement at the physical wall.
Though it would work.
No, but like the expression, like throw shit at the wall until something sticks.
There you go.
It's,
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Just
like
work
it's
it.
like that. I mean, those walls are gonna happen. So
Yep.
you can sit there and like feel sorry for yourself and be like, oh, I'm a piece of shit. I can't make anything cool. Or you just make a bunch of shit. You make a bunch of shit that you hate, and then eventually it's like, oh, this is kind of cool, and then you kind of find yourself getting through that wall.
Yeah. I think it's just being in the space where you create, and starting, and just allowing yourself to start and push around paint. Or, like we've been talking about, if you have a feeling, get in the space where you create and feel that feeling as much as you can, and then allow yourself to move with that feeling, if that's how you work. That's how I work. And I am that person where I'm just like, oh, I'm making paintings today. And it's like, I'm making paintings. You know what I'm saying? It's like, pursuing a career in a creative field is the dumbest thing you can do, but it's like the most important thing one can do. I'm in a place right now where all I have are making these paintings on Make It Perfect, and I have a little easel where I'm at, and God damn. I burned 12 paintings in my yard about 2 months ago because I was feeling this. I felt like I couldn't say the thing I needed to say, and the way to get that out was self-immolating, and I burned them up. I burned them with face up, so I could watch it. I could watch
them face up.
Yeah.
That's so fucked up, dude.
Really? I'm like tearing up over here, and this dude's like,
no, I love that. That's like,
I had to.
That's fucking brilliant. That's like one of the most like important things that have come out of this whole thing is you saying that you burnt your shit face up. That's insane.
Kinda. Like I watched the fire come through myself, you know, and I was gonna I took some photos of it, but then when I took a photo of it, I have another part to add to that. When I took a photo of it, I was like, well, this is irreverent. And I put my phone away, and I wanted to capture it, but I have it here, you know what I'm saying? So it was like this time where we lived on a farm, and this cow was sick, and it was like, it couldn't stand up, and you have to put the cow down, or it just, maggots get in it, and it just eats itself, you know? So the farmer that we lived on his farm, I was a part of this. We had to move the cow into the barn, and he shot the cow in the back of the head because it was gone. The cow was gone. And if you allow the cow to get sick, it infects the other parts of the herd, you know? So when when he shot the cow, this cadmium red blood came out, and I watched it gush out of its mouth, and it gushed out of its ears. And it was one of the most horribly despicable, beautiful things I've ever seen. And my first inclination was to take my phone out and capture it. And when I did that, I was like, what in the fuck? Am I a cyborg? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't even know why the fuck I told you that. Hey, you guys, thank you so much for being here. This is great.
Thank you guys, seriously.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Love you.
Seriously.
Yes.
Yeah, no, thank you for
Let's do it.
all that. Yeah.
You're welcome. Thank you. We really, I wasn't sure anyone was going to come, and all day I start getting anxious about that, and just the fact that you guys have stayed and interacted with us and just hung with us is really beautiful. And we want to do more of these things, and we will. And thank you to Alyssa in Fort Houston for allowing us to do this. She's a great...
Thank you, Alyssa in Fort Houston, for letting me build a skate ramp in the middle of the gallery. Like that's like a childhood dream come true for sure. So once we clear all this shit out, I'm going to be skating it if anybody else wants to skate and stuff. So yeah, I mean, if anybody's like brought their boards and wants to hang out and skate and stuff, we're definitely going to be doing that.
Love it.
So,
Love it.
Yeah.
Last person I want to thank is Luke Yates. We wouldn't be able to do this if it weren't for Luke. He is a genius individual. Thank you guys very much. Hang out.
Feeling good?
Feel great. It was so good.